Hello and welcome back. Um, an auditor abroad. This life has taken me to some peculiar places, and today, as you'll see in the episode, we're gonna talk about Australia. And I was only once in Australia, and it was out of pure chance. I was never there touristically. I was there, like I said, once, and you can see here on the screen. First, I flew from Tokyo to Brisbane with Qantas. I flew on the 2nd of November 2018. I arrived on the 3rd of November in 2018, and then I went back already 3 days later. So it was quite a short trip. And the reason why I did this was at the time I was doing an investigation in Tokyo, and there was another topic that came up which deserved or which needed my attention, and then I had to, in theory, go to the Papua New Guinea, to Port Moresby, but um, the company security said that this would be unwise. It was dangerous at the time. It still is. It was always PNG. It's always a dangerous location. I never been there. But I've been to worse places theoretically, but for some reason this we were not allowed to go. So we decided, let's do the audit and the interviews in Australia. And Australia is a huge country, but direct flights were either to, I think, Darwin here on this side, or to Brisbane, or then south of that. I think there was also something for Cairns, but for the people also coming from Port Moresby, the best was going through to Australia. So Australia in itself was quite an interesting thing, and arriving there for 3 days at this time, we already had to do something like the ESTA, so an electronic visa. And the first thing is that you had a lot more stuff to declare in terms of animal food, or in terms of seeds and all that. And they even checked, and I remember this, the dogs were even checking my shoes if I had like dirt on the shoes or something like that that need to be cleaned up before arriving in the country. Anyway, um, arrived very early in the morning and stayed at the Brisbane Marriott, which was quite here near the river. Very nice central location. Not the newest of um, buildings, but it was quite okay. Uh, I don't remember much about the hotel besides the fact that I stayed somewhere with a view to the bridge. And then during the first days, I was just walking around because it was the weekend. And yeah, this was the view from my room actually when I arrived, which was probably very early in the morning. So just going through the pictures, and this time, since that I was living in Australia, there are quite a few pictures that I was taking. So this is definitely not the only one. First thing, and this was on the main street, and the hotel was quite close to the real center of Brisbane. I went to this, I made a picture of this building called the Koala House, and there were koalas even in the city. I remember this ones, but also one when I went to a supermarket close to this park here with the church. There were koalas, not all over, but there were a few here and there. And then in the second day, I decided to go into it was not like a zoo; it was a wild park or something that had all the animals that Australia had. This was actually, I mean, I went by bus that I remember, and it was quite a long ride to go there. It was Pine Hills, I think. was the name, and it was quite expensive also to get in, but it was definitely worth it. Not huge, but had a lot of different Australian typical animals. There's the koalas again. There's a few better shots, like they are always sleeping. There he is, beautiful, and the video. Again, my phone was nothing amazing, so the photos are also not spectacular. And this is some kind of reptile that was just running around. There was a reptilium, a place with snakes and stuff, but it was inside. And yeah, that's my finger. Oh, there you have. These are awake. Well, some of them they are awake, and a lot of people taking photos. There was also a time. Oh, look at these two. They're just like dead there. Um, this was some kind of bird with a blue head. Oh, that's it. What's the name? The southern cassowary. And this is like another reptile. I mean, we're pretty close to everything, so you could almost touch them. Some of them you could all right, really just go by them. I will check. I mean, there was ostriches, and in this place there were also kangaroos. So you can see the ostriches were like just right there, and people were bringing them food, and also to the kangaroos, like this fella here. You can bring them some food, and I mean, they were not. I mean, even if you passed a few centimeters away, they would just not even move. And they're just there. They knew that people were bringing them food, and they're yeah. There's another fellow, and you can see here the people giving them food. Yeah, he is with his tiny hands. And then there was a barn, and for the barn there was like I'm not sure how long it was the show. It was maybe 20 minutes or so, where there was a dog, and this was in the middle of there was a lot of grass, and the dog was like taking the goats out and the sheep into a bit further away, and you just sit down, and he would do different things to keep them in line, etc. It was actually very interesting. I think this is typical sign with careful, there are kangaroos on the road. There's a bird there, and this is one of my favorite um, animals ever, the wombat. I think we could not see them because, or I could not see them because he was really inside this. I mean, his house. I would say it's like a hole in the wood in some trunk. And then here another exotic bird from this place, and here again the koalas. This time eating. You could actually take photos with them on your lap, but I'm not so much into doing that. I think they should be left alone. And then finally, this is again a bit of the center or the bridges there in Brisbane, and that was it for the audit itself, for the forensic investigation. Um, there was not really much that we did find here. The guys came from Papua New Guinea. We met in the office of the company downtown, not downtown, but it was like in the outskirts. Um, some interviews. I remember it was a person that had been in PNG for many years, and yeah, he took all the documentation with him. So it was a interesting, nice experience. It was, I would say, in this case, worth the trip, the 9 hours flight from Tokyo, and then I flew back to Tokyo, like I said, a few days later, and continued my audit there. So that was Australia. So only one time. It's for 3 days that I've been in the country, only in one city. So I cannot speak about the opera house in Sydney or anything like that. Yeah, but the next one would be a place that I've been. In the meantime, I can not even count the times between going by car, going by passing by, or going by plane. But it will be Vienna in Austria, and or not Vienna in Austria, but Austria itself, because I was in other places like, and you'll see that Graz, Salzburg, um, Melk. So yeah, just stay tuned for the next one, and I hope that you enjoy it and these videos that I just make for myself. And if you have any questions, just let me know. Bye bye.